I've been through trials the likes of which you've never seen before. That's too dramatic. I was just taking a little vacation, that's all. Nothing crazy. But it's been a little while, hasn't it? If you've been subscribed to iBluairjgr gaming for comedy for any amount of time, then you've probably gotten used to a relatively consistent flow of videos, and that flow was abruptly cut short. Well, that's because I went on a little vacation. I needed a break from content creation because burnout is a real thing. It's very easy for me to become tired and become bogged down by content creation, due in part to the style of content that I like to make. I like to create very artistic videos. Let's say that. I sound really pretentious whenever I say stuff like that, but I do try to lean my videos on more of an artistic side of things while also trying to be funny when I can. And to do that requires a certain level of positive energy, and the game that I was making content for the last couple of months, Destiny 2, is surrounded with absolutely nothing but negative energy, so I needed to take a step back and reevaluate a couple of things. And one of the main things that I've been reevaluating over the last couple of weeks was how much I absolutely love gaming. I love playing video games, because in the 2 weeks that I haven't made a single video, I haven't stopped playing video games. In fact, I've been playing a lot more video games than I normally do. And specifically Dragon Ball FighterZ, I am in love with that game so much because the fan service is so ridiculously real, and it's a good game. They found this really nice balance of creating a fun Dragon Ball experience, but also a really awesome fighting game, and that's what's making it such an awesome total package. Because the thing is, the game is really broken up into a lot of separate moving pieces that target specific audiences within. So they have a story mode that is a hot pile of steaming dog doo-doo, unless you're a fan of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. So basically, if you haven't watched the show, the story mode is not going to be very appealing to you because it's packed so tightly with references to the different characters, and it assumes that you already know about their relationships and what they've been through, that if you don't, then you're just going to be completely lost, or you'll be encouraged to say, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm actually going to watch the show so that some of this stuff starts to make sense to me, or maybe I can appreciate it down the line. But if you just want to play a good fighting game, the story is not going to mean anything for you. It's not going to do anything for you. And I compare that most to Injustice and Injustice 2, because I'm not a big comic book guy. I don't care about Superman that much. I think Batman's pretty cool. Green Lantern, whatever. I'll take him or leave him. But the storytelling was done in such a way that I've actually sat down and I've watched the game movie videos that people put up on YouTube with all the cutscenes. I've actually watched those without having ever played Injustice or Injustice 2. And the storytelling is done well. Meanwhile, with Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's just a bunch of exposition and a bunch of fan service that has no meaning to anyone unless you know where it comes from. So it's almost like the Deadpool of Dragon Ball games. Whereas the other Dragon Ball games that have come out over the years, like Budokai and Xenoverse 2, you can kind of play those and the stories are passable. The story modes are passable and at least kind of decent, but the gameplay is trash. But we've got the opposite thing with Dragon Ball FighterZ, and they also have an arcade mode where you can fight very challenging AI opponents, try to get an S rank and stuff, things of that nature. They also have the multiplayer, obviously, where the game really shines and finds its longevity. So overall, it's a total package. And it's got these little sections that appeal to a lot of different audiences. And I'm one of the lucky people where every aspect of the game appeals to me. I love the story because I've been watching Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Cell, Gohan, all the characters since I was a little kid, since Toonami. So I love it. I love the fan service. And I also enjoy arcade modes. I enjoy fighting challenging boss battles and challenging fights. So I like getting my ass whooped by a computer that's clearly been turned up to 11 and it's doing some cheap nonsense. And then I also like getting into competition. So long story short, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a great game, and I've been playing it a lot over the last couple of weeks. Now, we bring that back to Destiny. We bring that back to this whole idea that my creative spirit was crushed under the weight of Reddit and the complaining troll posts. It was a sad time for me. I logged on one day and I was just reading around trying to find an ounce of positivity, and I couldn't find it. So I thought to myself, why the hell am I even doing this? Why am I making this content? So I didn't make anything for a day, 2 days, 3 days go by. And then I'm sitting down and I'm playing a video game, and I realize, wow, I love playing video games. I love just engrossing myself in a world and having a story told to me, and engrossing myself in the character that I've created and building my own adventure, even in a game that has a 1, 2, 3 adventure planned out for you, like Destiny. You make your own character, you come up with your own stories for it. You know, what personality does your character have? Your guardian. And I sort of refound that love for video games just from not making content and not going on Reddit. So I guess the advice for today is, if you're feeling pretty depressed, stop going on the internet for a while and you might feel a little bit better. Or at the very least, watch less negative stuff, which can be hard to do nowadays. But yeah, I refound a little bit of passion, folks, is what I'm trying to say. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm considering doing a lot of different stuff for iBluairjgr Gaming for Comedy. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, actually. So obviously I want to make some stuff for Dragon Ball FighterZ, maybe a couple of guides here and there. I do still want to make some stuff for Destiny 2. I'm just never going to go on the Reddit again because it will just make me depressed. But also, For Honor is coming up on its 1-year anniversary, and I think I've talked about it on every single one of these talking about videos that I've done, so I think it's pretty obvious at this point that I enjoy the game. And I did make a lot of content for it. I think I made something like 40 videos for it. I did a playthrough on the story mode, which was about, I think it was 18 missions long or something like that. And then I made a bunch of guides and commentated over duels, which was a lot of fun. But I just stopped because I got a little bit burnt out on it. I just got a little tired. And it wasn't because the game was bad, which is probably what some people might believe. And it wasn't even really because I got tired of the game or I was protesting, this game sucks and I'm going to stop playing it till it gets better. It was nothing like that. It was just I stopped playing it. And as it's coming up on its 1-year anniversary, I watched this, the developers put out this video, and I actually got a little bit choked up at it because they let me see if I can find it. Here we go. It's on the Ubisoft official page. It's called For Honor Season 5 Age of Wolves. Dedicated servers, hero updates, a new game mode. I feel like it should say and more, but it doesn't. But they're coming up on their 5th season and their 1-year anniversary, and they've gone through a huge transformation. And throughout this video, they outlined all of that, and I actually started getting choked up. I started like just a single manly tear rolled down my cheeks because I remember picking up the game on Valentine's Day of last year, still single, still a lonely son of a bitch. But I remember picking up the game, and I remember playing through the story for the first time and really being just taken aback by, number one, how beautiful the world of the game was, but also how interesting the gameplay felt. And I've always made the comparison that For Honor is like what would happen if you mashed together Dynasty Warrior with Tekken, and then you sprinkled in a little bit of Dark Souls, a little bit of League of Legends, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then you come out with this crazy fusion that somehow works incredibly well. And I was absolutely in love with it. And now that they're coming up on the 1-year anniversary, after watching this video, they have really made the game 100% different. Well, not 100%, but they've made it drastically different from what it used to be, from what it was at launch. And I want to get back into it to really see how much it's progressed. I haven't been able to see the progression for the entire 365 days, but I got the first 6 or 8 months. I got a large chunk of it, so I feel like I feel like I'm a good candidate to see how much the game is transformed. I only wish I wasn't. I didn't miss out on those couple of months in there. But another thing that's coming out pretty soon is Civilization VI's first expansion pack. They've come out with a number of DLCs adding new civilizations for you to play, but they're finally coming out with an expansion pack, and I kind of want to buy that too, because I love Civilization 6. And I feel like Civ 6 is probably the nerdiest game I've ever played, and it's also a game that I can't explain very accurately why I enjoy playing it so much, because I've only played it for 186 hours, which is not that much, but those 186 hours were accrued over single weekends playing for big chunks of about 48 hours. It's stupid how much I can get engrossed in playing a game of Civ 6. And if you've never played it before, the premise is that you take control of a historical empire like England, Macedonia, United States, and you start in whatever time period you want, usually the caveman days, the ancient era, and you just build up. You build up your religion, you build up your science, you build up your economy, and you blow up the world with nukes and you win that way. But there are different victory conditions, and a single game can take you, depending on the speed that you play at, it can take you 12 hours or something. It gets crazy. And I would just sit down and I would play it for so many hours straight, not even realizing where the time is going. And the only way I could explain it to my buddy back when the game first came out, I used to just say I like watching the little people in my city, and that's kind of all it is. I just like clicking around in my city. And but I say all that to say they're coming out with an expansion pack, and I want to play it again, you know. But notice everything that I'm saying right now. I sound very excited. I sound very happy. I sound very passionate, because I am all of those things, especially with regards to video games. There's no art form that I feel more joy in viewing and creating content for than video games. And I'm happy to say that after not making content for 2 weeks and not digging in the salt mines of Destiny 2 for the last 2 weeks, that I've recaptured some of my passion for video games. So with all of that said, this is going to be a shorter one today, but this is, I guess, just the reintroduction to the channel. A nice way for me to say, I'm back, baby. No. But yeah, that's it. So in the coming weeks, you can expect content to start coming out again for a couple of different games, man. We got Civ, we got Destiny, we got For Honor, and Dragon Ball FighterZ. Because those are 4 games that I want to actively play right now. So those are 4 games that I'm going to try my best to actively make content for. Don't necessarily know what the content's going to be like. Don't know if I'm going to do guides and shit for all of them, or if I'm just going to do some playthroughs, whatever. I don't know. But we're going to find out, and we're going to find out together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So with all of that said, this has been pretty short talking about comparatively. They were getting longer and longer for a while, and now this one is getting a bit shorter. But I've been talking about loving video games, and a little bit of Dragon Ball FighterZ, a little bit of For Honor, a whole bunch of stuff. But if you can make any sort of sense out of what I just said, then feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to express any opinions. I would love to start a conversation down below with you. Anything you have to say, my eyes are open and my fingers are ready to type up a reply. So with all of that said, the name of the channel is iBluairjgr Gaming for Comedy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.